I don't know if any of you saw this here, but there was a female at one of the Twitch like parties. It was like the VIP Twitch like after party thing, and she was like touching Felix's leg while he was almost passed out drunk. And I didn't want to get too crazy because I was like, okay, these Twitch people will probably have no fucking like they wouldn't care if they banned me. You know what I mean? Like they'll keep inviting Felix, but if I punch her right now, if I punch her straight in the fucking face right now, they'll ban me and I'm gonna look like the bad guy. And do you know what I mean? Like even though I did the right thing, I'd still get in trouble. So I stopped her and I looked at her friend and I said, you better take her out of here now before I beat the shit out of her. I'm giving you 2 seconds because of the place, but you better take her out right now.
Girl, I would have been gone. I would have grew an extra leg and been out that bitch real fast.
She did. She went and she got their friend so fast because her friend was like 5'2", like just. I mean, she would have got her world rocked. Like if it wasn't a Twitch party, it would have been over. And I don't even like hitting people, but the fact that he was almost passed out drunk and she was taking advantage of him like that just set me off. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. I have a little event that happened. Mm-hmm. So we were at TwitchCon and Mizkif was there. I think Mizkif can probably corroborate this story too.
Wait, which year?
Like last year.
Oh, okay.
And so there was like this drunk chick that we were with, and like her arm just seemed to make its way, and her hand make its way onto my leg and onto like my thigh. And to me, it's like I'll be honest, this doesn't make me uncomfortable at all. But it's also, I know that like you're probably not supposed to do this either, and it was pretty fucking weird. But I just kind of ignored it. It was like, and she at some point I think she was like almost fucking dual wielding, you know, like like Mizkif was sitting on one side of her, I was sitting on the other. It's got two hands, you know what I mean? It was just kind of weird.
Dude, I saw a lot of. There were some women on the spreadsheets. Like
I know of women to women uncomfortability. That's not my story to share, and I'm waiting to see if they're going to come forward or not.
Oh shit,
I am.
Okay, so this movement is so different to me because there have been kind of Me Too movements, and I've always felt exiled from it. About 2 years ago, I shared my story, and I was taken advantage of by a woman when I was much younger. And I mean, it was almost essentially a full-on rape. That's really what it was. She was trying to turn me out, even though I was straight, for her own validation. And my sexuality is not a pawn for your validation. And I came out with this story on a podcast with 250,000, 200 or 300,000 views, and literally nobody fucking cared. Not a single person said anything about it. And it just kind of like destroyed me. And I didn't know how to heal. So I actually ended up calling this woman directly and telling her everything. And that was very powerful and very healing for me. But in this, what it felt like was 2 years ago, the Me Too movement felt more like I hate men, kill all men. And I wasn't included in that because my abuser was a lesbian woman. And it didn't fit the narrative that some of these people were trying to push. So for the first time, people were actually talking about female abusers. And I think it's so important to talk about that because there are probably men that have been touched by a woman or even a guy, especially when they were younger, and they don't feel comfortable coming out about it.
Right.
So especially because the communities that were supporting this before were very liberal, very LGBTQ. And so as soon as you accuse a homosexual man or a lesbian woman, they don't want to hear your story. And like this week, it's been a lot different. And I'm finally able to actually kind of get that healing and associate myself with this movement. And I even saw some guys come out with their stories too. And I think it's really important to talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the worst part is like whenever there's like some fucking middle school teacher that's getting it on with her 11-year-old male student.
I was just thinking
and they take a picture of her and she's like a 6. And you have all the guys in the comments are like, oh man, dude, what a lucky guy. And meanwhile, this kid's fucking traumatized and it's just, it's so fucked up.